today's khutbah is about khutbah of Iblis, khutbah of Shaitan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this is already in the Quran, khutbah of Shaitan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Surah Ibrahim, chapter number 14, verse 22. Our Mufassirin and scholars, early scholars, they said this will happen in the Yawm al-Qiyamah. You know, even before or after go to Jahannam, the people of Jahannam. You know, in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided who to go to the paradise and who are going to the hellfire. So everybody is blaming their leaders. Like for you, we came to the hellfire. You know, and all people, they will blame finger to Iblis because you were the one, you misguided us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us notice in advance. You know, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying this will happen. In the Yawm al-Qiyamah, Iblis will give a khutbah to all the people, citizens of hellfire. So there is a wisdom for this, so we can prepare ourselves in this life for hereafter. So we don't want to hear the khutbah in the hellfire, because we can save ourselves. So the khutbah of Shaitan in the hellfire, you know, we can learn what the trick Shaitan does, you know, in this life. And Shaitan don't want us to read Quran. Shaitan wants us to read Quran, but Shaitan don't want us to understand Quran, not focus and distract. Because we read Quran, but we don't understand. It's not going to get benefit, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a Quran for us to give us hidayah. But if you don't understand, this is not going to help. And before read the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, we're supposed to seek refuge, seek help, protection to Allah from Shaitan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. We seek refuge, we ask protection to Allah before we read Quran. So this is most important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. Surah Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do not follow the footsteps of Shaitan, because he is your open enemy. So do not follow خطوات Shaitan. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. Surely the Shaitan is your enemy. Do not follow him. In Surah Yasin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, أَلَمْ أَعْهَدْ إِلَيْكُمْ يَا بَنِي آدَمَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا الشَّيْطَانَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, didn't I tell you, do not follow the footsteps of Shaitan, because he is your enemy. So, وَأَنْ يَعْبُدُونِي هَذَا صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. Follow only my way, without associate. Follow me and the command of me, and this is the straight path. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, وَلَقَدْ أَضْوَلَّ مِنْكُمْ جِبِلًّا كَثِيرًا أَفَلَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْقِلُونَ. Didn't you see Shaitan already lead astray to different nations, different tribes, and different people? So don't you understand what Shaitan does? So what Shaitan promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, I will stay on your Sirat al-Mustaqim. I will attack from the right, from the left, from the front, from the back. So, oh Allah, you will see most of them are ungrateful. They will be with me. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I will fill the hellfire with you. So, but Shaitan, he also said, إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Without other than the people you guided. So I'm not going to be able to distract them. You know, they will be in the straight path. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he will give khutbah when everything will be settled, everything will be decided, who is going to the paradise, who is going to the hellfire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانُ لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ. And Shaitan will say when the matter has been decided, everybody go to hellfire, people went to the paradise. So in the hellfire, everybody is pointing to Shaitan, for you, we are here, for you. So Shaitan got cornered. So Shaitan answered, he gave khutbah. What is the khutbah? He gave khutbah, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعَدَ الْحَقِّ. He said, verily, surely, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised, and His promise is the truth. Allah promised you, and His promise was the truth. Then He said, my promise, I lied. وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ. My promise, I lied. But Allah promised, Allah said the truth. وَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ. And I never had any authority to make you do whatever you have done and came to the hellfire. I didn't have the authority. I didn't force you to do it. You have done it by yourself. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what message and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised, and that promise was the truth, and I promised, I lied. وَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ. I never had authority to make you do it. You have done it by yourself. إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي. Except I called you, I whispered you. I just tell you this is the easy way. Like Azan called for Zuhur, example, and Shaitan is telling us you have time till Asr, why you have to worry about, why you are rushing, So and Asr gone, then Maghrib gone, Isha, and day after day, we forget about Salah. So these are the things Shaitan did put in our heart, but what he didn't force you to do it. That's what he's saying. I didn't have any authority to do it. إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي. Except I called you, so you responded, you answered. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. So don't blame me. Do not blame me, I didn't do nothing. You done it by yourself, blame yourself. وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Blame yourself, I didn't do nothing. That's his khutbah, Shaitan's. Then he is saying, Shaitan, مَا أَنَا بِمُسْرِكِيكُمْ. And now we are crying, I can't help you. I can't help you. وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُسْرِكِيَّ. Nor you can help me. Now, do not blame me. You did by yourself. I didn't do nothing. I didn't have any authority to do it. Don't blame me. Blame yourself. You done it by yourself. إِنِّي كَفَرْتُ بِمَا أَشْرَكْتُمُونِي مِنْ قَبْلِ. So, I deny my former act of associating you did with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I lied. So this is the khutbah of Shaitan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna zwalimina lahum azabun alim. There is a painful torment for zalimun, for people who didn't follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them punishment into the hellfire. So what we learn from there, in advance Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about khutbah of Shaitan. Shaitan will give khutbah in the hellfire with all the people. And people will ask him, people will tell him, for you the reason we are in the hellfire. But he said, on his follower will bring a member in a platform, and he will say, surely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise, and his promise is the truth, and I promised and I lied. Then he said, I only give you whispering and you listen to me. I didn't force you to do it. I didn't have any authority to do it, make you do it. So do not blame me, blame yourself. You have done it by yourself. And what's going to happen? Is it if you blame me or I blame you, it's not going to help, because we all have to burn in the hellfire. So may Allah protect us from the hellfire and guide us to the right path.